Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's episode of Tales of Athanasia, where a bunch of us people just trying to get through the Kansas cold snap play Dungeons and Dragons. Today, we have Chad joining twice, I guess. Weird. But yes, we are all together today, and we are very happy about that because we have only rarely had the opportunity to all be together at the same time. Okay, so as a recap to tonight's episode, we were in Sefu. We were looking around for anything left that we needed to do before taking off and going after the remaining stones. We were headed to an island off in the Siren Sea, but all of a sudden a certain mage who was in trouble getting out of a closet in the inn for help. You all rejoined at the inn and discovered that there was another party of adventurers who were poking around and attempting to go on their own little adventure when there was a bit of an interlude between Hero and Celtiel, a very goth inspired spellcaster of some kind. All of these adventurers had some sort of affinity with fire, as you discovered. Celtiel has a flaming imp. The white-haired woman wearing brass armor had a flaming sword, as did the horned and reddish burnished-skinned knight, who also carried a shield. And then there was a brass dragon who seemed to recognize Bran right there near the tail end of the fight. When the fifth member of the Fiery Five came in and recognized Ronnie, known her in her other form. But I think Rocky and Ronnie are the only ones who would have known her as an actual person prior to being possessed by the fire aspect after transgressing her code as a water witch. So you all find yourselves in the inn. The fight has stopped, and Ronnie and Evangeline are now staring each other down in disbelief. What do you do?
Hey, Evangeline.
Oh my gosh! How have you been? She clenches her fists and the fire disappears, but her hair is still on fire for some reason. She walks over and just gives you a bit.
And I just like, busy.
She smacks you full in the face, and she's like, "That is no excuse for not coming to visit me in the water temple in the Siren Sea. I told you I was going there. Why did you never visit me? Some friend."
Well, I told you I had to go check out some stuff, so I was busy. Sorry.
Well, how long does checking out some stuff last?
Like a year, but we're actually headed to the Siren Sea next. We can go now.
Oh, well, too little too late. I've already got a bunch of adventurers over here. You want to come?
I punched the one next to me.
What's that?
I punched the one next to me. We're still fighting.
Okay, go ahead and roll your attack.
Evangeline, you can ditch them. You don't have to hang out with them anymore.
21.
These are my friends. What's that?
21.
21. Do your damage.
Yeah, they seem lame.
I'm only half-hearted into it, so I'm just hitting him once.
All right.
For 16 points of damage.
I'm half-hearted. I'm hitting him for 60. It's one of those Thor moments where, like, out of note, like the action has stopped, and Rocky just goes, and the flaming knight runs, like, flies across the room and into the bar. He kind of goes, "Oh, you are a worthy opponent." No, sorry, hang on. "You are a worthy opponent. Perhaps you would like to come and join me on my adventure to take over the fire plane for my own my lovely bride-to-be and I will be Empress and Emperor. And he stands up and puts his arm around Evangeline.
Yes, Charles.
Yeah.
That's it. And she does indeed, Bran. Have a magnificent. So, she turns to Ronnie and she says, "Oh, by the way, a lot can happen in a year. We're engaged."
Oh. Okay. Cool.
Well, fine, then I'm not going to invite you to the party.
Well, I'm glad you're happy, but that just ties you down. It'd be a lot cooler if you just came with us.
Well, you could come with us. I mean, we have a pretty big thing going on. We got to go take over the fire plane from his dad, who, by the way, total jerk. Kicked him out.
I look over at, well, no, he's probably outside. I kind of look outside at that creepy guy that Hero was flirting with, and I was like,
yeah, he sort of opens the door and walks back in, and he sees that there's no more battle going on, and he's like, well, that sort of puts a damper on the evening now, doesn't it? Very well. My dear, it looks like the festivities have ended. He'll leave the door open for you, Hero.
I'm going to walk in, and I'm just going to walk right past him without acknowledging him.
Okay.
And join my party.
So the knight with the flaming sword and Evangeline hold hands, and the knight with the flaming sword says, "Well, darling, are you going to introduce me to your friend?" And Evangeline, "Well, this is Ronnie. And that big guy over there, hang on a second. Did you... something's different. Did you get a haircut?"
Aren't you like a fire demon?
No. I paid my penance for breaking my code, and then I decided to convert. So now I'm a fire witch instead.
Oh, okay. No, I don't have hair.
Well, some things... Did you lose weight? You lost weight, right?
I mean, I got a new body.
I know. Oh, that's what it is. You've been working out.
What? No, like over at the Smith shop every now and then I go work.
Oh my gosh, speaking of which, and she runs downstairs.
Okay.
Has anyone seen Yara?
About that time, you see Yara and the innkeeper like fighting with one another, and she's bad.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, that's pretty much Ronnie vibes. So the innkeeper and Yara, you can hear are yelling in the staircase, and finally you can see Yara shoving him through the door onto the floor as she enters the inn, and he's like, "Okay, I promise I'll never do it again." And he scurries behind the bar and hides behind Ronnie's legs.
Ronnie moves.
He scurries behind a barrel, something that won't move.
I'm sorry, I was detained for a moment. I don't know why, but I was.
To bring Chad up on what was going on, basically it was just an excuse for Yara to not be there. There had apparently been a very large bill that wasn't that you and your compatriots weren't able to pay because you hadn't been paid for your job yet, and there were 3 dead people who weren't able to pay for their rooms. So basically he was like, "Pay me 120 gold or I'm throwing you in the closet until you pay up."
I see.
So Jareth paid your bail, I guess, and
I believe it's called a ransom.
I mean, you're not wrong. Well, I suppose I'd better go downstairs and see what Evangelina's up to. She's been a bit. Very nice to meet you. I hope
It's
you
been
come
like
to
12. It's been like 12 seconds. Well, I need to go see what she's up to.
So he's like, I hope maybe you come to the coronation. My bride to be and I are going to be ruling the fire plane together. It'll be a festive occasion. Okay, and he's just gonna walk outside and down the stairs.
As everybody just stares at him.
You can see
So are we not fighting anymore? I thought we were fighting.
the woman with white hair and the brass armor actually does turn around to you. Her hair is still sort of drenched and stuck to her face and neck from Ronnie's melted alchemical blade. And she actually turns to you and she says, I'll meet you outside in 5 minutes. And she goes off to she actually storms outside of the inn.
All right, well, I see that we have 5 minutes. I start rolling out some maps and... I had heard we were considering going to the Siren Sea, but I believe that there happens to be one of the stones that we are looking for nearby.
Near here?
Jay, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're fairly close to the Corvian Mountains, whatever they're called.
So the Corvian, Mount Corvia
Mount Corvia.
is south of the Renai Forest. So the Renai Forest is in between the two of you, but the mountain range itself goes all the way up to the rim. So theoretically, you're already in the Corvian Mountains right now.
The Warstone is fairly close, if I recall correctly.
Yes, you're inside it with the Pantheri, who are a faction of Leonians who live in the Renai Forest.
Okay, and that is much, much closer than the Siren Sea, I think. But it would be on the way?
Kind of. If you're looking for the Leonians, you're going to find them in more or less the center of Renai Forest. The Siren Sea is south and west. So, it wouldn't really be on the way per se, but it would be nearby-ish.
Okay.
It would be closer than the Siren Sea if you wanted to fly there, but it would be a bit out of the way.
Okay. I was up
Yeah, I
here
like it.
pursuing this. Sorry, go ahead.
Does that mean that you're actually joining us? Because I didn't know if you had made up your mind yet.
That's actually why we're here, because we were about to leave, and then we wanted to come find you instead. Just in case.
I see no reason why we shouldn't pool together our resources at this point. I'm afraid that my endeavor helping to stop the gate to the darkness has certainly cut my party's numbers down by quite a bit. It seems most tactical to combine forces at this point.
The sound of people talking comes down the staircase from the second floor as you hear two young men talking to each other as they come down into the bar area. I know, right? Whoa, so crazy. And all those cultists were just like dogpiling everybody. Whoa, it was great.
I see they got out of the ball.
They're still very green. This was a field exercise, and things did not go well, as you can tell.
So,
We're
not
always
this
in need of expendable troops.
About this time, Rocky, of course, is looking out the window waiting, and after the 5 minutes is up, he sees that the white-haired, brass-armored woman is now standing out in the center of the snow pit on the big sort of floating island, and she appears to have a flaming sword in her hand, ready to go, and she's just staring straight toward the inn at Rocky.
Okay, guys, you can keep talking about this. I'll be back. I run out there.
Okay. So you watch as the very excited stone spirit begins tromping down the rope bridges and causing the entire floating island to shake. Luckily, in the center of the island, there isn't a whole lot of actual movement because everything sort of balances out. But very soon, you see he and the white-haired woman are thick in combat.
We can montage that if you want, Jay. We don't have to.
As you pass by, you hear two yelps, both feminine, one coming from Evangeline, and the other you see coming from Tawilla, the alchemist, who appears to be on the lower balcony, the one that's used usually to watch the sporting events in the center island over the snow pit. But you also see that the blacksmith is also there, and it appears that Evangeline is now using the flames in her hands to light a couple of candles on the table, and now to underneath some like iron plates heat up their food as the two of them sort of like huddle together. And they, of course, attracted by the fact that you're running past them, both kind of like watch you, and they then realize that they have sort of a free entertainment for their meal, and they begin watching the battle sort of entertainedly.
Sorry, I'm like having a brain fart here.
Yeah, so forest. Let's go.
Okay. While I have a lead to the Renai Forest, you and your party have been on this endeavor much longer than I have, so I defer to your expertise in this matter, but my proposal, what meager ones we have.
I think there was one we were going to head to that was right by the Siren Sea, but still in the forest. Is that the one you're talking about?
Would that be the same one, or I think that's a little different,
So,
if I remember correctly.
Brad, go ahead and use the link I put in chat for the map of Athanasia. The one that you want, that you know about, is going to be in that on that big, huge dot that says Leonians in the Renai Forest. The one that they're suggesting that they want to go to in the Siren Sea is just south of the Tower of Towers, where the longitude and latitude lines intersect. And then there's one in the Renai, like sort of where the Renai Forest meets the ocean, where there's like a river and the beach and the land and the forest all meets sort of between those two locations. So there are 3 locations you could conceivably hit, all very close to one another, relatively speaking. They're days apart as far as actual travel is concerned, but in terms of hitting them all sort of nearby one another, that they could theoretically be reached relatively quickly.
No, I don't know if you mentioned it, but when we found you and your minions, we were looking for a tree to get us some transport one of these, so we didn't find one, but yeah.
Question, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at that map there, is that anywhere near the Lynchie territory?
As you may remember, the Lynchie are sort of off on their own. They tend to roam. They're more hunters. So they, around this time, see, how long since you've actually lived with the Lynchie? When did you leave?
Oh man, you're gonna make me go look at my bio. I don't have that in front of me right now, so.
Did you leave when you were a kid? Did you leave years ago? Did you leave months ago?
No, young adult. So,
Okay.
right at the end of being considered an adult.
Okay. Based on what you remember, go ahead and roll a history check. I'll say at disadvantage because it's been years.
Right.
Hey, Jay.
14.
Yeah.
Oh, at disadvantage? Hang on. Nope, yep, that's it.
Okay, so 14. What you remember is that the Lynchie actually sort of rotated between, so to speak, like summer hunting spots and winter hunting spots. One of them was north of the Renai Forest and just outside of the Renai Forest. And if you're looking at the map, you'll notice that that's the dot that doesn't have any label on it would probably be somewhere close by. And then the other is going to be at the intersection of 3 crossroads and 3 rivers. No, it isn't technically 3 rivers, it's 2 rivers, but because it shoots off in 2 directions.
No, yeah, I understand. So it's basically just straight south of the
Of the first one.
the first the dot, the first one you mentioned.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I
you
see it.
think based on the time of year, they would be at one of those 2. But with a 14, you can't remember which one is the winter and which one's the summer. Logic would dictate you would want to go north for the summer and south for the winter. But
Right. Okay. I'm just making sure. Jared's not gonna won't make mention at this time about anything.
okay, fair enough.
Help me out. So I met Rocky.
Mm-hmm.
Met.
Met Jareth, who was with the party.
So I have met Jareth.
I think it's Bram too.
Yeah, you met Bram. I think you haven't met Hero. She's the only one you haven't met.
Okay.
Technically,
So
she didn't meet Kathy either, because Kathy was hiding when we were in
Correct. Yeah. So you've never known, your character has never known any of Chelsea's characters.
you'll have to excuse my manners. I've met most of your party here, but I do not believe I have met you.
I
And you.
extend my hand. Hero, you're very attractive.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Those of you on the other side, his arms around Hero, and when he hears you're very attractive, he kind of just backs away and gets distracted with somebody else in the inn.
Yeah. You flatter me, but of course keeping in shape is all part of the game, being in the war guild. So,
Ain't that the truth?
in any case, it appears that you are from an order I'm not familiar with.
I'm from Sanflostad, up by actually pretty close to here.
You're about a day or 2 to the northwest.
Yeah, we just came from there.
Do I know much about that area? Probably not.
Yeah, roll history check.
I gotta look up the skill now. I was like, I know I rolled decent, so. 20?
Yeah, you know that it is located, it's quite defensible. It has its own natural crater, and you know that it is the location of a prominent monastery, which is the one that you presume Hero comes from. You know that the city of Usoria has sent sentinels of peace out that direction recently. You suspect that, given how she's dressed and the fact that she's carrying a symbol of the light on her tabard, that they must have arrived and begun sort of training the monks out that direction. You also, with a 20, know that there was recently a large battle, an incursion of darkness that came from the north, where some unlucky adventurers had ripped open a portal into the dark dimension, and then all these demons came flooding out. So the darkness was fought back, and thankfully the Sanflostad was saved.
Yes, well, I am, of course, very relieved to find you all in good health, considering the battle against the Shadow that took place there recently. I suspect you're from the Order of the Light, then, that protects the region.
I am.
How were the forces met there?
It was only the few of us, actually. Well, no, that's not true. At the actual portal, it was only a handful of us. But we had, many monks and, actually, Mikon... Oh, hey, is that something we should check on? Didn't he have, an army he pulled up from somewhere? Should we check on that?
I probably didn't know that
I
Mikon
mean,
had the
who are
dead
you talking
zone.
to? Because
I'm
Yara
talking
wouldn't
to
know
the
anything
group.
about that.
Whoever's mingling around the table in these maps, because
Wait, Mikon had an army of the Risen?
I don't know how he did it, but I just
It was
I'm
quite
wondering-
horrible.
I did not. I also did not use that word. I'm just wondering if any of
You mean the undead?
he said it.
I did.
Is that maybe going to be a problem though? Should we? I mean, what happens if they just became unleashed or something?
Don't you have this? Don't you have the parchment?
Oh, I do. I will take up the other half of the table, pulling out some parchment, some of the everlasting stuff, and send a message to the master. Or
Okay.
I'll write. I'll use just a tiny bit.
All right. What are you going to say?
I would like to say. Let's see. Minor concern. How are the forces there? Especially the ones we left behind. And I'll just leave it at that. I assume any big issues, he'll probably pick up on that he needs to, mention.
Okay.
If nothing's mentioned, I'm sure it's probably fine. So that's it.
Sure. He's responding to you in chat.
Sorry, Evelyn just popped down here real quick. Bye. Are you gonna go back upstairs? Okay. Okay, what did I miss? Sorry.
Hero is getting a response back from the master, or the librarian, I should say, and Dave appears to be totally walloping his opponent.
Well, this is all a lot to take in. How was the army raised?
I'm busy with my message, so I do not answer.
Okay.
I believe with magic.
Mikon was a practitioner user of the weather magic, but he was no powerful necromancer that I know of.
You didn't know Mikon.
Oh, yeah, well, he had a little help.
A little help.
Yeah. We're just at the inn, right? Or at the tavern, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll show you back at the key.
All right, then.
I don't really want to whip it out right here.
I don't know if I want you to whip it out here either. But
It's best left for when we're in the key. We probably don't want to.
it sounds like a delicate matter, so we should wait then until we return.
It's okay. He's dead. What are you gonna do? Raise him from the dead and then punish him?
Desperate times
Like
call for
Hero.
desperate measures, so I won't judge what Mikon's decisions were made in my absence, but if it could become a liability, I need to investigate and see exactly what he did. If he's no
True.
longer
But
if he's no
hey.
longer alive, there's probably no one controlling it then.
Hey, promotion.
Hey, quit. I am scribbling a reply.
I'm sure if there was a problem, they'd let us know.
Oh yeah, didn't mention anything. I feel like that would be a something to mention. So
Ooh, that would hurt.
You mention nothing?
He says, they've succeeded in keeping the darkness at bay. And they're saying that the demons are smart enough to stay back, since everything's so well defended, probably thanks to the Lightstone. And wants to know when we'll return, but obviously not soon.
Pull out a calendar and throw a dart at it. It won't be that day either.
I'll wrap up the parchment after I send a short reply, and that'll be it.
Very good. Yep. All right. So as you watch the battle continuing out on the sort of floating island, you see that Rocky and his opponent are dealing a good amount of damage to each other. You see shards of gemstone flying off of Rocky's body. You see the white-haired woman sort of flying backward, and large gouts of flame and light sort of erupting out of her sword. You hear small sort of rounds of applause from the peanut gallery.
I start whooping and cheering for Rocky.
Okay. The brat sort of finally lifts his head above the table a little bit and says, "Ronnie, I believe that's you, isn't it?"
What was that dragon's name?
Does
Allison.
Ronnie remember? Does Ronnie remember the dragon's name?
I'm sure Ronnie would, but I don't remember.
You may recall that you named a shield after his kneecap.
Oh, it's Grigdak. Okay. Oh, hey, buddy. How's it going?
Oh, I'm quite well, thank you very much. Tell me, where have your adventures led this last many years?
Well, we were able to
Dragonheart.
escape the Imperium Spire without any help from you, so, you know.
Excuse me
away
for
from
leaving
there.
before I was drawn into your drama.
You missed a lot of fun.
Well, apparently I saw the incursion of crow folk as they flew past me. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do much to prevent their incursion. Otherwise, I would have helped out.
Mm-hmm.
It seemed that you gave them an appropriate warning, though. I saw many seraphim flying away in many directions. However, it did not look like it boded well for the spire itself.
No, they didn't really actually listen to the warning.
Oh, didn't they?
The one they gave us a ride up to the spire?
Yes, that's what I remember you from. I think I might have given you a ride at some point.
Yes.
I remember when we got like arrested, or Mikon stabbed somebody, and then we turned around and he was gone.
Yeah, he was like,
Yeah, he was like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm not going to worry about this.
Yeah, he just left us there. So you found another party. Are you going to abandon them somewhere too in their time of need?
Look, I was only there because you all needed me to get to the spire itself. As for what your business was when you arrived, that was no longer my concern. In this case, however, I'm helping out one of my comrades. They appear to be under the delusion that they're going to unseat the primal fire in his own domain. Of course, one of them happens to be his son, So they might actually be able to do it. Although, in my opinion, they could use the help.
Oh, they all seem to have kind of fiery powers. They're going to fight other fiery powers.
Yeah, he sort of looks around at them critically and he says, I'm not entirely sure that they've realized that fire against fire isn't going to do much.
At least they'll both be at the same disadvantage.
I suppose so. You know, it's a shame. If you're not going to come with us, I suppose we'll have to plunder the spoils of the fire plane ourselves. I hear there's marvelous creatures made entirely out of molten gold.
I can't do much with molten gold.
Oh, you can do a lot with molten gold.
I've dealt enough with fire. I'm kind of over it.
Fair enough. Of course, there's also the crown jewel of the fire plane as well. I hear it contains great powers. If only someone who were looking for some stones of power might want to come with us.
Sorry.
Well, we did say no side quest, but now it appears to have crossed the main quest radar.
We've already got a plan.
Oh, it's entirely up to you, lass. You don't have to come with us.
I don't remember my poem mention anything about fire demons.
I don't remember any of the stones that we were after supposed to be on a different plane. I thought they were all on the same plane as us.
Oh, certainly. Well, I'm sure they would have been found on this plane, but there's no found now, is there?
So
Yeah,
you
I'm
actually
gonna
know
roll
what we're talking about?
I'm sorry, wee one. I couldn't hear you.
But you actually know the stones that we're looking for?
Oh, of course. I'm 3,733 years old. In dragon years.
I didn't even know that was a difference, but
Well, have you ever met a dog?
which stone is this?
Oh, this one purports to be able to maintain the life of its owner indefinitely. The primal fire, of course, being made of fire, is likely to be consumed in a moment's notice, but with this particular gemstone around his neck, he can live indefinitely.
19.
On?
Insight.
What do you want to know?
I want to know if he's full of shit.
He seems to believe what he's saying. He's definitely as old as he claims in dragon years, and he's definitely seen some shit, and he definitely believes that this crown jewel of the fire plane must be what you're looking for.
I have to admit, for someone so old and so wise, why do you give a damn about this?
Oh, it keeps me busy.
So what's going to keep you busy after this?
Well, I anticipate that they'll need a little bit of help to keep the fire plane under control, and after that's over, maybe I'll amass a hoard of wealth and wait until some unhappy adventurer gets cocky and tries to steal it.
Well, with your ancient knowledge, maybe we could use your help afterwards.
Very possibly. Unfortunately, my services are already, shall we say, contracted for the moment. But if you'd like to join us on our quest, you're welcome to join. We might be a little ways in the process, though, so if you don't come right away, it's probably all the better.
Well, what do we think? Are we doing another side quest?
When are you guys planning on going to the fire plane?
Well, we're going to make our way there as just as soon as, and he looks around and he notices that Celtiel is once again coming on to somebody in the bar, and it looks like Rocky and the white-haired woman are continuing to duke it out, and the Fire Knight and Evangeline are still downstairs having their own conversation. It might be a moment.
What's our guarantee that we're going to get the stone if we help? Isn't it part of the crown for this Yahoo king or whatever?
As I said, they are quite unprepared. They're a bit cocky. So I don't think they really realized exactly how unprepared they are. If you make them a deal and bring this to their attention, it might actually cause them to pause for a moment and think about their actions.
In my experience, people don't listen to me when I tell them they're about to die.
Well, be that as it may, I can't really think of anything else that might help you. Of course, you could always wait until they take over and then fight them for it. I'm sure they'd respect you for that.
Oh, my friend will be the queen if they win, so she'll just give it to me.
Well, with an attitude like that, I'm sure you might as well join them, fiery and cocky as you are.
We'll think about it.
Very well.
We'll have to talk amongst ourselves. It doesn't seem like you're leaving anytime soon.
No, I suspect we'll be here for another day or so. Unless, of course, you were to expedite matters, in which case it could be sooner.
Hold on a second.
Yeah. We'll cut down to the battle with Rocky and his opponent. Rocky, go ahead and make another, we'll call this your finishing blow. Go and make another attack roll.
Yeah. 25.
That'll hit. Do your damage.
18. No, sorry. 12 points.
12 points of damage. In response, she raises her greatsword, flaming greatsword, and you slam down on top of her, and she staggers backward, and she appears to, like, her sword gets knocked out of her hand, and she's sitting there sort of on, three limbs on the ground, and she just looks up at you and she says, "Where did you come from? What is your origin, and why in blazes are you so hard to beat?" She stands up and she comes up and she clasps your wrist. Her one large hand, she doesn't have large hands, but I'm just saying, like, your large hand, like, comes around and grabs her wrist, and she's just barely able to get around your wrist. And she's like, "Tell me your name."
Rocky.
"Well, my name is Nahiri, and you have yourself an ally if ever you should need it. My sword is yours." I'm not entirely sure where this accent is going. I'm trying to go British, but I was too far into Sean Connery, and it's a little difficult right now.
What did you say your name was, Jay? I'm sorry.
I want to get into the accent just a second. Well spotted. Yes, very good. Her name is Nahiri.
Nahiri.
Nahiri. She goes over and scoops up her sword, just sort of rests it on her shoulder, and it goes cold again. You see that when it's cold, it's entirely black. Gosh dang it. Not as a last resort. There we are. She says, "If you should need someone in your adventures, and once we're done with this one, foolhardy though it may be, call upon me, and my brother and I, Celtiel, can come to your aid. I suspect once the newlyweds are very comfortably in their kingdom, we won't have a whole lot left to do. Tell me, what are your friends? What is your business at this moment?"
We're searching for stuff.
Oh. What sort of stuff are you searching for?
Rocks.
Indeed. More, and she looks at your arms. More More girth for the gun show?
No, they're gonna be different ones.
Oh.
You're
Well,
a good fighter, though. That was fun.
Yes, likewise. You have a mean right hook, you know that. And those spikes that came out of you, my goodness. How do you do that?
This thing gives me some cool things. It helps me to hit harder.
You are quite the eloquent man, you know that.
Aw, shucks.
Listen, is there anything I can give you? You've squarely won that battle. Do you spend coin?
Sometimes, but that was just for fun. Let's go see the others.
Yeah, you guys are on your way back.
Okay.
So you rejoin everybody else in the inn. Do you want to stop off on the balcony as you go back in?
I'll just wave to
Okay.
the blacksmith as we're walking past.
You'll see the blacksmith sort of like looks in your direction and and he raises up a small little like drawing of a happy face that appears to have been cut out and like drawn on it. It's like put on like a stick, just like attached to a stick, and he just kind of holds it up and he shows his little smiley face at you.
So is he sitting there with Toola? Is that what you said?
Yes,
They're
they're sitting across from each other at one of the tables, and they're eating food, and he's watching you guys fight and stuff. At another table nearby, you see Evangeline and her and the knight dude that you were fighting before.
I'll go up to the blacksmith.
All right.
On the way past, and I'll just say to Twilla, this man is good, and he's a hard worker. He doesn't talk so good, but give him a chance. Yeah. 8.
Okay. Yeah, she sort of looks at you and looks at him, and she says, well, I imagine you'll be leaving soon. And he is a really good guy. And he lifts up a little smiley face, and he kind of blushes a little bit.
And I'll turn to him, and I'll put my hand on his shoulder, and I'll say, dude, relax. And then we'll walk back.
Okay, sounds good. The wooden boards of the stairs will groan under your feet as you walk back up the staircase and into the bar. And so everybody's back in the same room, I think, except for the ones that are on the balcony, obviously. Well, I see you're back. How was the fight?
It was good.
Did you win?
Well, he beat me soundly, for certain, yes.
I offer Rocky a high five.
I'll
Celtial,
give you.
Celtial, do come away from that woman. Yes, no, I'm sure she consents. It's all very good. Just come here, please. So Celtial will kind of do the double fingers at the lady that he was enjoying the company of. And he comes back, and she pulls him down and sits him in a seat, and he kind of just leans back and sort of looks at everybody and says, well, I think I've had my fun for the day. What do you say we take off? She says, you are an idiot. We still have to wait for the others. He will, let's see, Grignax will look at the rest of you and say, well, is there anything we can do for you before you take off?
Who's he talking to?
Just looking around at all the rest of you guys. It sounds like you won't be joining us on our adventure. And Celtail is like, you mean they could have come with us? Nahiri's like, oh, please, just leave it alone. No, it's fine. We'll be all right.
Is Evangeline there?
She's on the balcony downstairs.
I'm going to go out to her and ask her if she has a way that we could communicate with her in case they need help.
You mean like pen pals?
Sure.
Okay. She will look around in her stuff, and she'll turn to the fiery knight, and she'll say, "Cole, where did I leave those? The sending stones. The sending stones. You know, the ones that I got. Yes, those." And he kind of looks around, and he pulls up this big bag, and he reaches his hand in deeper than the bag is. Sets something on the table, reaches in, grabs out another one, reaches up, and he says, "Oh gosh, no, I'm switching accents too much. I gotta think for a second. Here you are, darling. I've saved them in the bag for you." Okay, great. And so she takes them from him, and she hands one to you, Ronnie, and she says, "These are sending stones. They're magic. Once a day, you can use the sending spell, and that will reach me, and then I can respond."
Okay. Can you reach us the same way too?
Yeah.
Okay. Let us know when you're getting ready to do your thing. Sounds like you guys aren't quite ready to do it yet. We might be able to help you. We kind of have our own plan that we're working on.
Well, if you must know, I really wanted to make sure that these two had a chance to really hit it off, because I think Tawilla has been having some personal issues. I think she maybe feels like having me around kind of threatens her chances with guys. So I was trying to make up for it by setting up on a blind date, and I just want to make sure that they're, good. I made them little signs and stuff so that he could communicate, but I think kind of how to relax a little bit. Although Rocky gave him this really great pep talk. So.
Okay.
But yeah, after that's all done, we'll probably take off.
Okay, well, let us know if you need help, and we could probably come and help.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
Are you guys equipped with a fire plane? We all have, we're all pretty good in fiery environments, but do you guys have some kind of protection? Because if you came, I don't want to be sitting there, making sure that, because I'm out of the healing business. You should know that, right? I'm a fire witch now, so I don't really have the ability to just keep you guys up all the time,
Well, I don't have anything, but I don't know about the rest of my party. We haven't really been preparing to go there, but
okay. Well,
help.
If you find something that makes it easy for you to walk into a volcano and survive, come find us.
Okay. Oh, hey, and if you beat everyone without me, can I have the stone that's on that crown? I'll just borrow it. I'll give it back.
What are you talking about? And then Cole looks at you and he goes,
Cole looks at me and does that?
Yeah.
Cole doesn't want me to talk about it. I don't know why.
What? Okay, you're going to need to give us a second, because we're going to have this out right now. And Cole is just
we're gonna go back to our ship, but yeah, just call me.
Okay, cool, bye.
Bye.
It's so good seeing you. And she kind of perks up in her chair or whatever, and you see that her magnificent rack, of course, is still as advertised. You guys usher yourselves away. So Brignac and Hiri and Celtiel are all having their conversation inside, and what are you guys doing?
What time of the day is it?
By now, it's probably getting into late morning, close to 1.
Okay. So I'll say to the group, but I don't want other people to hear if possible. That was a fun fight, but it really hurt. So if we get in another fight, I don't know how much I can help.
Really?
I feel like you should know this. You should have thought about this first, but
It was a fight. We haven't had a good one for a while.
you literally just got out of a fight. Literally. It was almost the same fight.
I mean, before that.
We do need to go back to the
It
ship.
seemed like it had been about 10 months since the last time I had a good fight.
All right.
Hey.
I will summon my healing spirit for him. And Yara, I think we can go back to the ship and explain things regarding zombification.
Yes, finally.
All right. So, leaving behind the Wyvern Punch Tavern, you all escort yourselves back to the ship. Grignax bids you all a fond farewell and asks you to keep in touch. Nahiri and Celtiel are thick in the middle of a sibling rivalry argument about exactly what their plans are. And sort of, Nahiri, of course, stands up, goes over to you, Rocky, and says, listen, I know we're not very put together, but seriously, when this is all over with, keep me in mind, yeah?
Yeah. He said, right. Totally knowing what she means.
Go get him, Big Eye. See you on the flip side. She'll go back and have a seat with Celtia. All right, you guys, unless you want to do anything else here in town, head back to the key.
Yeah.
It's quite the marvel.
Is Nelbog still walking?
Yeah, Nelbog is only just now arriving at the inn. You pass him on your way out.
Hey.
Hello, my large friend.
See ya.
Nice talking to you. And he will, as you guys leave, the door slowly closes, and it closes before he gets there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot. He wants us to come visit him sometimes. So put that on the calendar.
All right. So y'all end up back in the key. You, I'm sure, insert whatever stones you want. It powers into life.
Yes, it's quite the marvel.
I'll put in my time stone.
Okay.
Welcome to my ship.
Oh, it's your ship then. I'm sure.
I'll break off my finger and put it into.
All right.
Okay, so what's the plan then? Which one are we gonna? Are we waiting for them to tell us if they're going to the fire plane, or are we?
They're going to tell us if they need any help, and then we can come help them. Rignax doesn't think they're prepared, but we're not either.
I don't know about the rest of you, but I'd be fine.
Well, why'd you go with them?
No, I like you guys better.
Oh my gosh.
They're, yeah, I don't want to be alone with them. So where are we going?
It makes sense to go after Golug first, the Divination Stone, but honestly, right here and we know where it is. Might as well just take care of this one.
Well, I figure we can kind of go in a line. There's the one in the forest, and then the one at the end of the river, and then the one that's on the peninsula. So we can just kind of go get all three and kind of go in a line there.
Well, are we taking care of this fire plane first?
I will also say, Ronnie, one of the stones that you suspect was actually it is time sensitive. The one on the island was already known to the people who sacked your dad's office.
Oh yeah, the big old plot point that you guys just was trying to figure out the secret code, and then once you figured it out, you're like, oh, that was cool, and then you just like tossed it, and we forgot about it. Yeah, that one's time sensitive. We need to go check that one out.
So the divination, go Luke.
I don't remember which one it's supposed to be. Is it the divination?
On the island.
Island. So is that the one that's south of the Tower of Towers?
Uh-huh.
Makes
So
sense.
we'll just go in the opposite direction then. Instead of starting at the forest, we'll head straight for that one and go the other way.
Backwards.
Yes?
Seems like that is our main.
Why exactly is time of the essence?
Well, there's some pretty shady people who are going there, and they might find it. We don't want them to get a hold of it.
That's
One of
Fair
them,
enough.
some sort of sniper who can see through disguises. So
Crap.
that's fun. Are we on the key now?
Yeah.
Okay. So Yara, what we were talking about earlier, Mikon might have used this to help him, and I pull out the Death Stone. It's very ominous.
Is that what I think it is? May I?
Yeah.
That pine cone? It's a pine cone!
It's pine cone.
Mikon was insane!
Oh, hold
I
on.
mean,
it's not the Death Stone.
Wait.
it's the pine
Not
cone,
that
Adam.
one. I'm sorry. This one. That's a rock.
Here, that's a.
Hey, that one works better.
Yeah, that's perfect, pretty much. Jay, and observe and look it over. See if it's
Okay.
really the thing.
Yeah, make an Arcana check.
Lily, stop it.
I rolled pretty good. I got a nat 27. Wow.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, you recognize it as one of the 20 stones of power, specifically the Death Stone. You also identify it as having been awakened. So because of the lore that you know as a mage, you know that these stones are pretty much capable of being almost infinitely awakened. They potentially, if their users are able to continue working with them, they can potentially unlock magics that no one has been able to access since before the Cataclysm. This one appears to have been awakened somewhat, you might say about a third of the way.
Interesting. Well, it is true that death magic is one of the forbidden schools, but seeing as how recently war magic was also a forbidden school, I suppose Mikon thought it best to use all tools at our disposal. I am surmising that he perhaps used this stone to control the army at San Floset. I don't know if I will be able to do the same. I'll probably need time. At least using that would give us a bulwark against the demonic forces still staged against that area.
Did we ever, contact them to let them know that the army of undead might not be friendly anymore?
I told them to keep an eye. Well, no, I didn't. Actually, now that I think about it, I almost did. He didn't say that there was any problem, and I imagine that with the Lightstone, they can probably wipe those things out pretty easy if they do become a problem.
Okay.
Can I use the stone to tell if the army is still activated and running amok?
Okay, that seems like a possibility. So let's go ahead and have you do. Oh man, yeah, do an Arcana check, but make it at disadvantage because you're not attuned to the Death Stone, and you basically be trying to a spirit who doesn't know you. So yeah, go Arcana disadvantage.
Would I know that trying to do that and messing up cause consequences, or just I wouldn't be able to do it?
You get the sense that you're just tapping into the mana signature and like looking for active effects. So it's not gonna like if you roll horribly, nothing terrible is going to happen. You'll just fail.
Yeah, so Mikon wouldn't care, and I wouldn't even ask that question. He would just do it. But I'm being a little more
Yara
cautious.
has some sense to it. Yes.
Okay, so 27. I rolled very well there.
Okay.
Again.
Because of your knowledge, the theoretical knowledge that the mages have passed down, and also your ability to kind of intuitively understand how this thing works, it almost seems to respond almost as if there's some kind of familiarity between you and the stone already. And you recognize that, yes, the undead horde is still active and it is still occupying that level spell slot, basically. So until you could deactivate the army from here if you wanted to regain the access to that spell slot. No telling exactly what might happen on the other end, though.
What are their standing orders?
You don't get the sense that there are any standing orders. Like from what you can tell about the stone, like it's on. It's active, it's animating them. They have been commanded to do, and you can read from manipulating the stone.
Yes, it appears that the army has not dissipated, so that's good. They're still tethered to the stone.
That's good.
I see no ill consequences at this point. I won't be able to dismiss the army outright, but seeing as how they are on standby, I see no reason to do so.
So, for clarification, if you deactivate the spell that is animating the army, that will also theoretically release the magical influence that controls them. So if by releasing the spell you also deactivate the army, no harm done. If by releasing the spell the army continues to exist, then they're going to be an uncontrollable zombie horde wherever they happen to be at the moment. That much would be evident to Yara based on the rolls that you made.
Okay, so essentially they're just in stasis right now, wherever they're at.
I mean, they're fulfilling whatever function they've been tasked with, but they are still undead and operative.
Okay.
Yeah, let me know if there's ever a time I need to give them a warning over there.
There's no reason to right now. They're serving their purpose, I believe. Mikon set them to help defend Sanflo said, so...
Flashback to Mikon. I will 100% come back! Listen to me! 100%! I promise!
Yeah, I don't know about any of those promises made, so... Promises made, promises not kept.
Also, for the sake of reminding you of your promises, relatively recently in-game, but a long time ago out-of-game, you also promised Urza, the bear man, that you would kill Heinrich.
Oh, yeah.
In short order.
Promises made.
That wasn't too long ago, though, in-game. It was just before the time thing, right?
Yeah, more or less.
It wasn't that far.
It's fine. It's fine.
Not been done, but
it's fine.
I like how Todd turned his camera on just to laugh that we abandoned another goal. Just cackle.
Oh man, I love it. So many side quests. Okay, so what do you guys want to do?
The time-sensitive thing, yes. We need to go after the stone in the Siren Sea, it sounds like. If there are others after it, it's only going to complicate matters.
Let's do it.
So I concur with your assessment.
And before we leave, I just start pulling all of Mikon's stuff out of the bag of holding, except for the string. That's mine. But All the
Half
other stuff,
of an
this-
infinite ball of string, yes.
it's mine. But this, I paid
It's
for
all
it.
yours, Ronnie.
But the
You did pay
staff
for it.
and
That
all
is
that
true.
equipment, I'm going to give to Yara.
These were his last effects.
Yeah, pretty much. The Staff of Thunder and Lightning, the Grimoires.
Yep, the Time Grimoire and his Weather Grimoire.
I'm keeping the dark light bulb too.
Okay. You probably
If
paid
you
for
want
that
to be
too.
technical, the zombie horde is his last effect.
Oh, well done. About this time, as you guys are handing over all of the items, you see that Schmoofus and Doofus climb aboard and are like, "Whoa, this is crazy!
Who are they, and should I kill them?
What is going on? Are we going on an adventure?
They're with
Whoa!"
Yara.
They're apprentices and ones that Mekon recruited, so pretty low caliber.
Crewmembers! Great!
Let me show you to your quarters, and I'm going to take them to that nasty room where we like have the alchemy stuff, and it's all gross in there.
Nice, okay, sounds good.
It can't be any worse than their dorm room.
I
Back
mean,
at the-
right now, it's where Rocky has his cooking gear set up because you don't have an actual set of cooking utensils. Nobody's bothered to really buy and outfit the ship. They just kind of have whatever's there.
We'll work on that. Put a pin in it.
I used my fingers mostly.
Gross.
They both go in and start smelling things inside of the alchemy laboratory and start daring each other to like drink stuff without knowing what it is.
I'm gonna go in there and just scream at them. Like,
Yes. Okay.
I've had it. I've tell them they need to show discipline, and their fellows were just as goofy, and they got themselves killed out on a mission.
Oh man. Okay. Yeah. Roll an intimidation check
I look
with
at
advantage
Rocky.
because
I look at Rocky and
they
it's
legitimately watch their companions die.
Well, I have that as a class skill, so I got a 26.
Oh shoot!
Because I'm just screaming at them. I go into full like patriarch military mode and just rip them a new one.
What do you task them with to distract them from being doofuses?
Help get this shape in ship order.
What?
Yes. Ma'am?
Ship and shape order. I don't know. I can't talk right now. I'm so angry. I'm flipping words around. Just do as I say.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
We'll get right on that, ma'am. Yes.
Do as I say, not as I say. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Look at the shape. I don't see a shape.
while all the yelling's going on, I look at Rocky and I just say, "She's so cool."
No, I used to be a quartermaster, so I'm just gonna start screaming at them to get count the supplies, see what we have on board, see what we need, clean this out, swap the decks, mateys.
Yes, they will do. They've never been in like a military position, so they don't know. But they.
Oh, they're about to.
They'll do their best impression of somebody who's in like a subordinate position, and will do what you tell them, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah, I will lean over to Hero and say, I think we found our new captain.
I will not hesitate to throw you off the ship if this is not to my standards by the time I get back.
I think I'm cool with that.
I support this as well.
And it's that easy to be made
Jareth comes back.
Yep, you're now the captain.
Jareth is going to be
Jareth has been sitting there trying, just campaigning to be after the entire
Jareth's
time.
like-
Laura comes in, yells at someone once, and everybody else is like, "She's it. She's the one."
Jareth is like, "This is my ship," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" Sorry, Jareth.
It is 8:30. Do we want to take a quick break?
Yes. So at this point, I make the broad assumption that you guys are going to be doing your sort of navigating and coordinating, and then you're headed off to the island. As you get underway, I will come back next after the break and have you make checks to see how well that goes. In the meantime, I'll assume that you're getting underway, and we'll take a break for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
See you soon. Bye.
We're back.
To the second part of Tales of the Evening. Last our adventurers were finally getting underway, heading off to a mysterious island in Myron Sea. And I'm going to have Yara. I make the broad assumption that you're going to be training to be the captain of the ship.
I apparently have been voted as such, so
So we're going to go ahead and give you checks to sort of embed yourself into the command structure. All right. The captain should have intelligence, charisma, and intuition and persuasion skills. Which of those would you like to make first? We'll call it intelligence, intimidation, persuasion.
I'll do an intimidation. I'm already screaming at him anyway, so.
That makes sense. So go ahead and roll that. We'll call this your first day check.
Just a 17 today.
Okay, so you hit the DC. You are well underway to getting the crew, both those that you are familiar with and the stone spirits themselves, as well as your own lackeys, in line and following orders with as much respect as they can give you. Who is doing navigating?
Me, right?
Okay.
That's my
Go
job.
ahead and move. Yep. So if you have cartographer's tools, navigator's tools, or a proficiency with air vehicles, you are welcome to make none of those things. Go ahead and make your roll.
I think I gave you Nikon's tools, that whatever he had.
Has ever
Right.
given Hero anything?
I went to, so I did.
Learn everything she's got.
So I do have cartographers. Did he have cartographers?
I think that was the other campaign. I think you have navigator's tools, but I don't think you're proficient with them, so you're just using them. You're not adding anything to the roll.
All right. So what kind of roll is it? I think wisdom, right?
Wisdom.
Just straight wisdom check.
Yep.
21.
You don't get lost. You also will get to the island in question. Is going to take between 5 and 6 days.
Well, there's our answer.
Depending on how your checks go. If you we'll say that you made a day and a half off of your navigator's check today because you did so well. So we'll see that. Go ahead and mark down a day and a half's worth of progress within 1 day. All right. Anybody else performing any checks in the meantime? Is there any training for another position? I think Rocky, are you training to be cook?
Yes, I am.
All right, go ahead and make your cooking utensils check.
I do not have those.
Yes, so with a disadvantage because you don't have cooking utensils.
Ooh, natural 20.
Oh,
Just another one.
9. What do I have that to?
This is going to be. Let's see what the cook does. Constitution.
Oh, that's not bad. Constitution saving throw.
No,
All right, fine. That's saving throw. Con. 13.
okay. What he makes isn't terrible. He's perfected his ration packet soup. So what you end up with on your first day of travel is some boiled water that's lightly flavored like bacon and dried fruit, and then some reconstituted dried fruit and some soggy crackers that are also mixed in together. And it's kind of made this sort of like beige gray sort of stew color. It tastes okay. It could be better. Any other checks for this first day? Anybody else trading for anything?
I don't know if it was an acquisition. I can't remember what I decided I wanted to do about weapons or something like that.
I think you were supposed to be the quartermaster,
I have,
but wasn't the quartermaster also the navigator?
I have quartermaster written
No.
down. So.
It wasn't a quartermaster. It was you said something else. There needed to be people who would.
Oh. Let me check. Bosun? I think that's what. Yeah, that's what Rocky abandoned. So you guys traded positions, I think.
Oh, I thought he was staying as bosun.
No, he's still bosun.
Yeah, I was doing that.
So
You're-
positions.
There was somebody who would like run gems and stuff like that.
Okay, I gotcha. Well, that would be just somebody who performs the actions when the ship is in combat.
Okay.
So that's
Artillery?
yeah, like a gunner basically. So you're running the gun. You're a cannoneer.
Okay. I don't have to do anything.
You could go around and maintain the weapons. That sounds fine. So that would probably be we could call it like a strength check. Strength, athletics.
That's gonna be fun. That's a 0.
Oh shoot! What was the number on the die?
Huh? No. My modifier is 0.
Oh, okay.
I don't have anything.
What did you end up with?
I haven't rolled yet.
Oh, I thought you rolled the 0. Oh, no.
No.
That's what I got too.
That's okay. I look at 15.
Okay, so you are able to reacquaint yourself with the weapon systems of the key. You remember that there is an energy that can fire out of the tip of the docked bit, so that would be operated by the someone who's inside of the key, or sorry, inside of the bit, or could operate it from the deck of the key as long as it's docked, which of course it is. There are also have these long Pyrium javelins basically affixed to the outside of this ship, and they can be fired as well. I can't remember. I think it has 4 attached. Let me double check that.
Are those things that once they're fired, we can't get them back, or do they come back?
It has 2. Yeah, they can be recovered, but they have to, you have to go get them basically. Yeah, so it's, I see. 1 spire becomes invisible for 10 damage. Okay, yeah, the key is equipped with 10 magnetically attached spires, spear-like extensions of the hull, which can be launched outward from the ship as devastating projectiles. Spires never break, but could jam if damaged in combat. But they are recoverable. There are energy beams, there are spire shot, and then, of course, there is the blade of the key, the nose, so to speak, that comes out and acts as a ring. It can deal piercing damage and also compromise the structure of an enemy ship. So,
Whose job is it to fix the ship when it's damaged?
It's the bosun, right?
that's Rocky.
Did you mention that magic users can assist in making the ship go faster?
I did. Let's go ahead and say that out loud for Twit. If you are a magic user, you understand the principles of sort of magical science, you would be able to basically man one of the stations where it's essentially an energy input, and you could stand there and continuously add energy to the ship, which would make it go faster.
Do you want to check for that, or do I just do it?
That would be, we'll call it an Arcana check.
No. Oh, and by the way, the protection spell can apparently make the sails shiny, which makes them 7% faster, I think. The movement speed goes from 30 feet to 35. So,
Oh.
like, I'm cranking everything out of this.
And did
Okay.
you guys need the warp stone to make it go faster?
All right, so
The
that's a 3
the
plus.
warp zone does not help us go faster. It does do like short-term jumps instantaneously, but that's only a
Yeah,
once
3 miles.
every.
Well, if you wanted, I have a
There was a 9 on my roll. But
Okay. So you and Finney, the tiny-sized sapphire drake, go up to these energy input locations, stations across the ship, and Finney appears to nestle into one, basically make that station usable for you, and you try to figure out how the station works with him sort of attached to it, and it doesn't really go very well. However, in the meantime, you do notice, again, as the entire interior of the ship is sort of coded in this sort of pixelated magical hologram display. You're able to see a visual representation of what's outside from the inside of the ship, and you notice that there are these sort of translucent, magical, like triangular shaped sails that now catch the wind, and they appear to be made out of a glittering silvery metal that you anticipate is probably mithril. So, in addition to, well, you weren't able to get the oars to work for the arcane oars, but you did gain a set of sails that now glitters and sparkles with one coat of mithril. So
fabulous.
Yes, it increases the speed of the ship from 30 to 35 feet, 15 in the wind, or 50 against the wind. I think that might be...
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So,
15
in the first day we went a
the
day
wind.
and a half. Does that set us up anymore?
Your speed effectively goes from 30 to 50. So do the math. I don't know how to do that. Can somebody else do the math?
Just want to kind of roughly cut our time in half.
Yeah, like a little less than half. Let me actually get a calculator and I'll figure it out because this would be relevant. If you can go, call it 5 days at 30, then how fast could you go at 50?
3 days.
That's 5. Divided by 30. That doesn't make sense. Say 3 days?
It would be 3 days.
Okay, sounds good. I will believe you. That sounds reasonable to me. So you just cut your travel time to 3 days, and you've already traveled because of your navigator. You've traveled a day and a half of that 3 days. So we'll say you got what with a good navigation shot, one more day. So long as you're going, actually, that is entirely dependent upon what the wind is going the direction you are. Let's roll up dice and see what's happening. No special luck. So you're still at it's 15 slow, so it's still 35. So you give some time off, but it's not as drastic as you expected. That's you gained a sixth of your speed. So we'll say it cuts a day off of it.
So I assume during this time we could have had a long rest.
Oh, yes. Please.
Several. Okay.
Several long rests.
Long rest.
All right. On your journey, any other rolls anybody wants to make?
Well, I'm not allowed to test my tornado skills, so no.
What role do we not have covered right now?
not on outside of a moving ship without telling anyone, all by yourself. Bran.
The first mate could make a check to keep the crew's morale high. The bosun could provide technical advice to the captain or lead repair and maintenance efforts. You don't need to repair anything. Surgeon could tend to injuries. There are some injuries aboard, so if somebody wants to perform these surgeon duties, you could aid.
Who needs to get cut?
The man made out of gemstone.
I will start playing sea shanties to raise morale.
Excellent. Go ahead and do a performance roll.
Guessing Letterman.
That's a 14.
Sounds good. So with a 14, you keep everybody in high spirits, and there are no detrimental effects, of course, of the next day. As you guys watch the landscape pass by, you see the mountains, the white covered mountainous area interspersed with sparse conifers flying below you. You watch as that one tree you remember going under or going through to get into the core of the planet pass by fondly, and you see far off into the distance to the sort of tall mountainous crater of Cephalostad as you fly past it. You notice that within the first day of travel, you are able to emerge from the snowy sort of tundra region and into a more sort of rocky mountainous region that slopes downward below you. And you notice the key sort of follows as the terrain lowers, its maximum height also lowers as well. So it continues to descend as the mountains do. The sun rises and sets on your journey. You're able to maintain a little bit of watch at night. Does anybody want to keep an eye out, a weather eye, for anything amiss as your day transitions to night?
I'll do it.
Would you like to keep watch for the entire evening, just for the
Just for 4 hours.
Okay. Anybody else want to keep watch?
I'll go after Ronnie.
One for a third watch. Okay, 2 watches.
Sure, I'll take.
All right, so Jared's going to watch. Ronnie, go ahead and make your roll. Let's make it a percentile roll.
Percentile?
Yeah.
$93.
Oh, dang.
What did I do?
I'm consulting with a chart.
Oh no.
Where is it? There's Anathars.
Someone tried to teleport.
I'm not
you
going back after
suddenly
them. We already
find,
did it once for each. That's enough.
you suddenly find half of Jareth's body appear on the bridge of the ship, except this time it's the left half. Not again. No.
Roll a new character.
We went through all that trouble. It's been so long. All right, we got Arctic. There we go. Okay, a 90 what now?
3.
As you're flying through the mountains, you see far below you the layers of a large cave, where outside you see a glowing yellow stone with 3 fearsome large trolls that all appear to be spooked by the presence of a large black flying hunk of metal as it passes overhead. They throw several rocks, and nothing really happens of any interest. So they're too far away to do any real damage.
Okay.
The remainder of your watch passes uneventfully. Chelsea,
Yes.
go ahead and roll for watch.
You just want percentile dice?
Yep.
All right. 62.
62. I should have left that page open. Nope. Oh, there it is. 62. All right. You fly over a large lake with a hole in the icy sort of covering the uppermost crust of the lake being frozen, a large hole in it. And as you fly past, you see that an enormous, appears to be a centipede, but like the size of a house, crawls up out of this hole and starts crawling across the countryside. It rears up, sees you, watches you pass by, and nothing significant. The rest of your watch passes uneventfully. Jareth.
Interesting.
Yes.
Oh. Go ahead and roll.
Percentile?
Yep.
82.
Oh my. Okay. You see.
Yeah, no, Jareth is slightly less. What is that? Denim.
Douglas Renham.
Yeah, he's not. He's turning. It's like going from Douglas Renham to some Yorkshireman.
Okay. You pass over the encampment of 4 very burly-looking pigmen who appear to be larger than normal, and they are riding around on, you guessed it, wild boars. Them like pulls too far to the right, and it's the steed is now in like full gallop and falls, and then as that one falls, it cascades and hits the next one, and then trips up the next one, and as all of them are now watching you from the ground, their steeds and they themselves are sort of all just in a big pile, angry and shaking their fists, and nothing particularly dangerous happens. They fire their short bows at you, massively fall short in terms of range, and you all fly on into the ever lightening sky of the west.
Hooray!
All right. Now that we've kind of got some rhythm to it, let's go ahead and keep making checks. Everybody who would like to, go ahead and make your checks for the day.
I guess I did. 13 for Aurora.
Let's start Chelsea.
20 for navigator's tools.
We've gone ahead and shaved off another day and a half in one day. What have we got from Bran?
13.
Okay, you've successfully used the node. It speeds up your what is it? Speeds up your movement by I don't see any specific things. We'll say by 5.
Cool.
Your movement by 5. So it shaves another maybe day-ish.
So technically, total, according to everything you've said that goes into it, this will be 5 days of worth of travel in 2 days.
Okay. So you guys will have gotten very close to your destination. As who else has rolled?
Is it the same check as last?
It's the same check as last. Well, no, you're doing either persuasion or intimidate. No, you did intimidation. You're doing now persuasion or a straight intelligence roll.
I'll just do the intelligence roll.
Okay.
So 14.
Okay. You're competent. It takes a little bit. This arcane sort of contraption seems a little bit advanced for you. So nothing stupendous, but yeah, you're able to kind of familiarize yourself with its workings. Dave, you gonna make some food?
7 for cooking.
Ooh, you guys are treated to charred leftovers of ration packet soup.
Delish.
Jareth, are you gonna be entertaining the troops again, Jareth?
Yes. With my bagpipes.
Ooh, quite resonant within the.
I rolled a 1.
Oh,
Okay, so for your third day of travel, you will all be making rolls at disadvantage as the very poor choice of instrument for this enclosed area just really does a number on you guys. And then finally, Ronnie, go ahead and make your athletics check to check the systems.
Do I have to do disadvantage?
No, because that was just over the course of the day.
Six.
Oh no! Looks like it affected Ronnie a little earlier than most. Like you were ready to make sure that the bit was appropriately attached, and unfortunately, right as you were going to close the iris between the bit and the key, the bagpipes turned on, and you were so startled that you closed it on your hand, and then it jammed. So you now have disadvantage with that hand for the next day, and that also the bit's weapon systems will not be accessible for a day as well.
Right?
Garrett, are you willing to allow that to happen?
No.
Okay. You attempt to throw his bagpipes outside. He hides them.
Investigation. No.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm joking.
And then I think we've had everybody roll, everybody do a thing. Great. So you all are coming up on the area just north. So you've passed the Renai Forest on your left. You've passed Uzoria on your right. You're passing over the main road that goes from Uzoria to the Renai Forest, and also the river that runs along it. You have reached the area, the peninsula that extends out into the Tower of Towers, and you can now see the massive metropolis constructed almost entirely out of tall, what would the equivalent of medieval skyscrapers. These buildings that are just encrusted with parapets and spires and bridges and tall sort of balconies and all other manner of. It looks like much like a city with a downtown where the old stuff is sort of toward the middle. You see these 5 just ancient spires standing tall over the remainder of the city, but instead of staying in the center, they're positioned as far to the west as possible on this peninsula. The remainder of the city has sort of sprawled out to the east, north, and south from that point, and it looks like the newer shorter towers are a good deal further away from the main five. But at first, you take these main five to be one tower, just sort of so closely joined to one another that they may as well be the same building. But as you get closer and closer, you realize that they are in fact distinct from one another in terms of space, but also in terms of style. You notice that one of sweeping bands that sort of spiral around the outside. Another one appears to be very up and down and almost square in terms of size. Each of them has their own unique sort of visual characteristics and architecture and style. One of them does appear to be in an architectural style that is evocative of Jareth. You would actually recognize one of the towers as being vaguely like ancient Leonian. And when I say ancient Leonian, I mean like think desert dwelling cat people making things out of the stone they're able to harvest from the desert. There's another one that appears reminiscent of Bran. You would recognize the construction of the Boreans, something very much like raw stone pulled out of the belly of the earth and then just put in your mind, you think almost inappropriately above ground instead of remaining below. And then are there any other, let's see, there is a bit of an organic looking tower. I don't think anybody would know culturally. They don't come from a culture that would identify it immediately, but if you want to make a really good idea, something that looks far more organic and sort of like viney and twisted. And then there's another one that you no longer have a seraphim on board, so that doesn't ring any bells. Yeah, so a lot that are very different. At any rate, you finally reach the outskirts of the Tower of Towers. The Tower of Towers refers not, it's like saying New York City, New York. The Tower of Towers is not only that central section of 5 towers, but it's also the name of the larger metropolis outside. You guys would have probably an opportunity to stop for the night. You will probably easily make the island in the morning if you would like. Would you like to stop at the Tower of Towers before you proceed, or do you want to just keep flying through the night?
Isn't one of the stones supposed to be at the Tower of Towers?
Any
of the stones.
Okay. If we're gonna have to stop here anyway.
I don't think we have to stop, and for some reason I was getting the impression that of the tower.
Yeah, and if it's gonna tie us down, we're gonna be late to getting the time sensitive one. I mean, we can
Good
always
point.
double back when we're done. But
Yeah, let's just keep
We're not
going.
that far away.
Okay.
Like, we're gonna probably have to negotiate in order to get these stones. So we might as well get the other ones for the Divinity Stone first, and then come back.
Agreed.
Okay. So you all fly through the night. Go ahead and give me your 3 watch checks. Go ahead and roll them all now.
I'm not on watch because I'm at disadvantage.
We're
Or is
all
that
at
just with my hand?
Everyone's at disadvantage.
Oh. Oh, wait, is it just percentile dice, though?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay, then I'll do it.
They're disadvantaged.
0, 0, and an 8. I'm not sure if that's 108 or 8.
That is 8.
Okay. Too bad that wasn't a what's that cleric spell? Divine intervention.
Yeah, right? Right. So, Ronnie, what do you got?
73.
Okay. So as you guys pass the Tower of Towers on your way south, you, Ronnie, you see a shape flying in the air. And as you investigate, it appears that it's flying sort of at an angle to you. You see that it is what appears to be an enormous goose with a man sitting atop its back, who is also quite large. larger than the usual human, a giant, if you will. And so this goose with a man flying atop it, every now and then you see like a very thin bolt of lightning fly out of the sky and land from the distance that you're at in the hand of this guy flying on top of the goose. As you get closer, you realize that it's actually attracting lightning bolts into a scepter that this man is holding. So you see this guy.
Okay.
Riding that goose. So he flies past. Do you do anything?
If he's going to attack us, I'm going to leave him to his business.
Okay.
He seems like he's got something going on.
Yeah.
Whatever the hell that is.
I know. I don't want to mess with that right now.
He looks like he doesn't even notice you guys. I mean, the key is fairly quiet. It's pretty aerodynamic, and it probably would just look like a dark cloud at night. So, yeah, he seems to not really notice anything and just flies on. And it looks like he's actually now changing course and flying in the same direction you are. The key is flying a good deal faster, though. Well, think about that. Nope. He would be flying faster at this point. Yeah. So he actually makes a little bit of headway between you guys and the island. It looks like he's flying straight to the island, though. Same direction that you guys are flying. Let's get yours.
What was that?
What did you get for your percentile dice?
8.
I tell Hero to keep an eye out for a guy on a goose.
Keep an eye out for a guy on a goose.
Yeah. So.
I really look for one because that sounds like a sight. So I'm just like,
yeah,
really looking.
Wait, okay, well now I gotta find it.
Yeah.
Where's the guy on the goose? You find a fishing vessel that appears to be out at night doing some night fishing. You estimate they're pretty far below you, but you estimate that there's at least more than 5 or more. It's a pretty sizable fishing vessel, and it seems like they've caught quite the haul of fish. Do you choose to do anything?
Nope, good for them.
All right.
Bombs away!
Go hustling.
Blowing up fishing vessels.
And finally, Heath, what do you got?
98.
Wow.
Higher's not usually better.
The goose is back for blood.
The goose is back.
Bring on the dragons.
93 was fine, wasn't it?
Is that a vampire goose?
Usually, it depends, but usually they get really short. Rhythmically.
Off in the distance, Jareth, you are able to see to the east of you that there appears to be a whirlpool that appears to be moving across. You're now over the water, moving across the Siren Sea from the tip of that peninsula over to the mainland, and it appears to now be washing up on the shore, and there appear to be some villagers and whatnot, and just sort of travelers that appear to be encamped on the shore. And this whirlpool is pretty sizable. It looks about 20 feet across, and it looks like it's starting to wash up onto the beach. What would you like to do?
I'll continue to watch and see what it does.
Okay. It washes ashore. You see the people now starting to wake up, flee their encampment. It drowns the fire. The people begin running out of their tents as the tents are now swept away by the whirlpool. The people continue to flee.
I will.
You can't teleport.
I will raise. I'll go wake the captain.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Heath is torn between helping people and no side quests.
Never did him any
Captain
favors, for sure.
Captain Yada, come quick.
All
There's
right,
villagers being attacked down there.
I'll wake up and investigate what Sir Jareth.
By the time you get there, you see that there is now a 20-foot tall, vaguely humanoid water elemental standing above the ruins of a human encampment and people fleeing in all directions.
Like on a small island, or
No, just on the mainland, the eastern shore of that little neck of water between the peninsula from the Tower of Towers to the eastern mainland.
well, those people need help. Let us intervene. I'll sound the alarm and give orders that we're gonna, I
Okay.
guess, try and stop this thing.
Okay, sounds great.
Battle stations.
Dive. Okay,
dive.
you all head down, and at this point, we'll go ahead and roll initiative.
Is it nighttime?
It is.
Thank goodness.
Wait, is this water elemental like attacking things, or is he just?
Excuse me.
Oh, it's for sure. It's trashing the camp and going after the villagers. Yeah, 100%.
I'm gonna use my inspiration on this.
Do it. Actually, I take it back. That will be this. Good. There it is. And perfect. I love D&D Beyond. It's so convenient.
Me too.
All right. So, nope. There we go. Were you? Nope. Yeah, this. Okay. So, $25 to 20.
22.
I rolled really bad, but I have a very high initiative count still.
All right. 15 to 20.
I got 17.
16.
Yep. Is 16, and the water elemental is at 15. 10 to 15.
14.
10.
10.
Hero is at 14, and I have who at 10?
Both Rocky and Bran, I think.
Rocky and Bran, and who has the better decks?
I'm sure Bran does.
+2.
Yeah, +0.
I'll put Bran at 11 and Rocky at 10. All right, starting up top, Jareth, what do you do? Dun 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 dun.
Captain, are we going to interdict with the ship, or do we need to put down and attack on foot?
What stones do we have socketed in? Because that's probably gonna. I don't know. We probably didn't determine that, did we?
I think destruction was socketed, and the time stone,
Alteration and protection.
protection, and
And I
also.
have a couple more I can socket into it for an attack.
So you would need to specify which one is in which bank. Remember that you have weapon, hull, helm, and ensign, and they each do different things.
Destruction. What were the others?
Protection.
I actually don't have the printout for protection because I think we gained that afterwards.
Yeah, it's in the classroom.
Okay.
It just boosts the AC.
I'm just gonna put protection in whole because I assume that's gonna help.
It says helm.
Helm.
There's the time stone. We would have probably put that in the ensign, because then that gives us the beacon of haste.
Yeah, that seems to make sense.
And then destruction would end up in weapon, I imagine.
Makes
Yep.
sense.
Let's do that. And so I'll do we'll say we're going to use the ship as a weapon because we've got a big fire-breathing dragon on the front of it now. So, but I will say we probably need to make sure some of these people are protected from our weapons of devastation. Can anybody help them get away from the water elemental?
So Jay, I don't know if we've ever discussed if I am socketed in, like what if I leave the ship but I leave part of me behind, what does that do?
It basically splits your focus. So if someone can operate the stone without you being there, then that's fine. If no one is there to operate the stone, you could operate it yourself. In a sense, like so long as you're close by, your awareness would still be there, so you can still operate it from a distance if you choose.
Okay.
Hero, how can you help them?
I'm
I'm
fast.
Okay.
And also I can fall.
I can get you there quicker if need be.
If you want to drop me off, I can, try and form a wall between it and the people.
I can assist one person at a time, but
Okay, so Jareth, the combat has ensued. What are you doing?
I guess just at this point, man, there's not much I can do on the ship at this point. I will see. I know that Ronnie is our bombardier, so I will inspire her to have better shots, and I guess that's it for now.
All right. How do you inspire Ronnie to be a better shot?
I will pull out the mandolin and begin playing Rock and Roll Part 2.
All right. Sounds good. So as
Gary Glitter for you.
As not the bagpipes come out, Ronnie is reassured that she at least doesn't have to listen to that mess again. But she is inspired by the Rock and Roll Part 2 to do a better job of shooting stuff. Yara, what are you doing?
D12.
If you can get there without my assistance, that would be best, because these spells are not ideal for this situation.
how far are we over the land, over the beach, or how far away from the elemental are we?
Right now, we'll say you're about 100 feet off the coast, and the water elemental is on the coast.
Okay, is it actively going after those people trying to get away from it?
Yep, it's chasing them down.
So first priority is damage control. So I'm at the captain's helm. Am I within 120 feet of the water elemental?
Yep.
All right, so I cast Bixby's hand, and then command it to interpose between the water elemental and the people who are trying to run away.
Okay. Does the description of the spell say that it appears where you want it to, or does it have to come from you?
In an unoccupied space that you can see within range.
Okay. Then, yep, totally appears in front of the water elemental and interposes. What are the rules on?
The hand interposes itself between me and a large creature, so I guess I don't know if that's going to help them or not. I thought it could interpose between anybody.
Let me see.
That's so limiting, so it just only stops it from coming towards me. Well,
Big land!
I could grasp it.
That's an option.
So I can't stop it. I don't want it to stop coming towards me. That doesn't help me. So I will instead grasp it to try to slow it down.
Okay. So you're attempting to grapple a huge or smaller creature within 5 feet of the hand. Let me think about this. Medium, large, huge. Okay, this thing is a 20 by 20 by 20 water elemental. So this thing is big. It unfortunately is a size larger than huge.
Okay, well, I'm still going to try to do that because I've already cast
Okay,
it.
sounds great. So you use the hand strength score to resolve the grapple. Go ahead and make your strength attempt.
Who controls the movement of the key during this?
Whoever would be giving orders. Any of the officers can give an order.
I'm going to use my inspiration.
Okay.
15 plus 5, 20 plus 28.
All right. So I will say I'm just basically going to make it more difficult because it's larger than huge. So it's not going to successfully grab onto it, but it might slow it down. It rolled a 6, so your massive strength score does slow it down a little bit. We'll say it causes it, instead of being grappled, we'll say that it cuts its speed in half.
Okay, so if I am at least grabbing onto it and pushing it and slowing it down, I can, as a bonus action, then crush it.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and do your crush.
For 10 points of damage.
Okay. So you learn that your hand, which is attempting to grapple this water elemental, unfortunately, the water elemental is so big that when you push down, all the water pushes out to one side and flows around the hand. So apparently, would not do much to a creature, especially something made of water that can flow around.
Yeah, so I guess what ends up happening is it just becomes Bigsby's water slapping hand. It's just slapping the water to slow it down.
So like it's still constantly swirling like that whirlpool. It's just standing on land now. So basically, you're just like pushing against the swirl to keep it from moving as much as you can. All right. So that was Yara. Your action. Any movement or bonus, or I guess you used your bonus action.
Keep my bonus, so unless I can, unless my move, I can move the ship. I'm not going to do anything else.
That works, actually.
I'm going to guess I need to do an action probably to move the ship, but
I feel like that's true. Let me double check. Ship in combat. So during an encounter, the captain, first mate, and bosun each have access to 2 special action options. You can take aim, full speed ahead. If you do a take aim option, you can click on the next attack roll it makes until the ship's end of the ship's next turn. The full speed ahead as an action while on deck. You roll a d6 and multiply the result by 5, and you apply the total as a bonus to speed. So you can make it go faster, or you could take aim. If you want to move, arm class, hit points, I want to say there, I ought to have looked this up a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to call it giving an order as an action.
okay.
So we'll say that's how it is until I find out otherwise.
And which ranks can do that? The captain, the first mate, and the who?
The captain, first mate, and the bosun have access to the take aim and full speed ahead special actions, but any other officer can issue an order to basically move or use the weapons or whatnot.
And what's the ship's speed?
The ship's current speed is
35? No, more than that.
well, let's see which direction it's facing, where the wind is going. Oh, bad luck. You're at a speed of 15 right now. But that's only if you're using, you're using the sails. Yeah, you're using the sails. All right. Cool. So that was Yara. Ronnie, you're up.
So Yara didn't take aim, so does that mean I can't use the ship's weapons?
You just don't get the advantage on the attack roll. You can
Okay.
use weapons.
Are we still pretty close to the people, though, that it would probably not be a good idea? Like how-
the people are scattering right now for the purposes of attacking. I mean, they're nearby, but they're not in danger. Like, if you try to attack the water elemental, it's big enough that if you hit this thing, it's probably not going to hurt anybody.
Okay. Yara, did you declare what damage, the elemental damage type you wanted the destruction stone to do before we placed it in?
I didn't, so
Should we roll randomly then, just for the sake of being fair?
yeah,
Sure.
just roll random.
All right. How many elemental types are there?
There's 5, so I'm going to roll a d10.
Cut it in half. Sounds good.
Yeah.
D5.
I rolled a 10, so that means thunder.
Sure.
All right, sure, why not? Okay. Can I attack with the dragon figurehead?
Yes, you can.
Okay. All right, so as an action, the ship can activate it to create a 60-foot cone of elemental energy. Is that going to be too big? Is that going to hit the people? Or
So
probably
number one, you're not close enough yet because you're still 100 feet away.
Oh, okay.
And number 2, that cone of elemental energy would very likely hit the people as well. Yes.
Oh, okay. So I don't want to do that.
The closer we get, the less likely it is, because the cone won't be as spread. The closer.
Right.
Okay. I'm going to save that for if we get closer. Are we moving closer to trying to move closer to it?
No one.
You could give an order to make it move closer. Yeah.
I will make that order.
Okay.
Get
So
closer on that thing.
You command it to move forward, and you move the 15 feet against the wind.
Okay.
So you're now 85 feet away.
Okay. Was that an action to make it move closer?
That was an action.
Okay.
All right. It's the water elemental's turn. It swirls angrily as it fights against this interposing hand. It will slap around the hand a little bit and then realize that it can't really harm it as it's...
it can.
Oh, it can harm the hand?
Yep. It's a thing that can be attacked and smacked around.
Oh, it has 20 hit points. Okay. Well, then it's going to use one of its attacks to attack the hand. That is a 16 to hit.
It does not hit.
Okay. It realizes how difficult this hand is to attack and then also recognizes that it's not actually doing a whole lot of damage. So it's now going to turn its attention upward and around. I don't think it knows where the danger is coming from yet. Let me see if I can make an intelligence check to see if it's... Oh, no. Okay, so it starts looking around for a... apparently it knows what the clenching hand is. It realizes it's a spell, and it's looking around for a wizard. As of right now, it doesn't see anything that looks like a wizard, so it's going to continue just attempting to rampage across the countryside. So it's going to throw a spear of
all the people.
Yeah, it's going to throw a spear of frozen water across and attempt to impale someone. It rolls a 14 to hit a commoner, and the commoners do not have that high of an AC, so it hits the commoner and rolls way more than enough damage to just murder someone. So yeah, we'll go ahead and say there are 10 people, now 9 people continuing to flee. It makes another attack against a different person. 11 is enough. 8 people remain. 2 now impaled on spikes, tridents made out of ice. Yeah, so it's going to do that. And Hero, you're up.
Okay, so we're 85 feet away from the shore.
Correct.
How high up are we?
I'm not going to get specific unless you have something in particular that you want to worry about.
My question is, I have slow fall, but I also have my where is it? My unarmored movement means I can move across liquids without falling. But
Okay.
I don't know that I don't know that landing on a liquid and running is the same as running across liquids. So I just want to check.
Rule of
Right.
cool. Rule of cool.
Look, as far as I'm concerned, you are Chow Yun Fat. You slide across the top of, and you glide on the wind coming at you, which makes sense actually. And you're able to sort of land softly. And the second your toe touches the water, it does one of these, and you begin to sort of like ninja run across the water. 100%. Yeah, no, it's really cool. You do the thing. It's awesome.
Sweet. Well, in that case, if I have my movement, my action, and my bonus action, all for movement, I'll use a key point for my bonus action. That gives me 55 times 3. 115? No, 150.
65.
165
right?
Can I get between the water elemental and the people that are fleeing?
Yes.
I can't do anything after that, so I'm just gonna position myself there to hopefully.
In fact, because you can run across water without really any issue, I'm going to say you like run up the swirling tail of this thing out of the ocean and up on top of its head, and then do like a flying flip and land on the other side, like a 3-point landing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good. So you've moved and you've moved and you've moved some more. Any actions left?
No.
Okay. You come in. Don't mess with my friends. I don't even know you guys, but you're cool, so it's fine. I'm here. It's fine. Bran, you're up.
The monk just jumps ship and no one cares.
Bye.
Ronnie's like,
No, we didn't. May I have 3 CR2 creatures, please?
yes.
Preferably water-ish.
Yes.
Because I don't get water creatures very often.
CR2 creatures.
Are we gonna see you slaughter woodland creatures again?
Iguanas.
Because these are going to be
It's
big
not summon
fish.
woodland creatures. It's slaughter woodland creatures. That's great.
I don't know, maybe we should just throw an octopus on them.
Yes.
It was a wand that just cast octopus. I think the octopus
You
went
said-
away after a while.
You said CR2?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. There is only one option. At your call, you summon 3 enormous water lizards with fins and long necks and sharp teeth. They are 3 plesiosauruses.
Ooh, awesome.
Do they just fall out of the key?
No, they're not. They come at his call, so they come up out of the ocean.
Ooh.
Yeah, Bran is Aquaman. Aquaman.
I was going to say, it's like, hey, I can finally do something.
But more effective, I
Now.
feel like.
I have a question for you, Bran. How close do you have to be to these things?
Is in like the summoning distance?
Yeah.
That's a fantastical question. Conjure animals that actually says 60 feet.
Okay.
So assuming you're 60 feet down, they're going to be pretty far.
So I'm going to assume that they just appear in the ocean immediately below you because they can't get any closer than that. So they are also 85 feet away.
All right, that makes sense. And I will try to find stats for a Plethosaurus.
Yep.
Plesiosaurus, right?
Yeah. Plesiosaurus.
Nessie.
Showing results for Google knows you're retarded.
Okay. Here, I'll post it in the chat. That's the movie.
I found it.
Okay, great. So you have your plesiosauri.
Yeah.
Did you do anything this turn, or did you just appear?
I think you said that they just appear. I mean, if they get to move, that's awesome. But
Right. Well, I don't know how your spell works, so whatever it says.
it says that I get these 3 things.
You get them. There they are. Anything else? Movement? Bonus?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Rocky.
Okay, so how high did you say we are?
I don't know. 60 feet.
60 feet. This is really dumb idea.
Do it.
What?
That's what those are the kind of ideas that this group likes.
Yeah.
Actually, this is a 60-foot range. So I could probably do this without jumping out. But I'm going to jump out anyway.
So here's the thing. You're about 60 feet in the air, but you're still 85 feet away from the creature.
Okay. So I want to then jump out. Are we over it? Like, I'm aiming for it.
No, dude, you would have to jump 85 feet in order to reach this thing.
Just a reminder that anyone can tell the ship to move closer on their turn.
Yeah, but it's the
But that would
on
be
mine.
my action to do that, right?
Correct. Now, if you would like, Rocky, you can always jump into the bit and fly that.
But that would take an action.
Correct.
But you're a fighter.
I can't do anything from here. So if I were to jump out and go straight down, I would still be 85 feet away from it. Is that what you're telling me?
Yes. In fact, you would be 85 feet and also under the water.
You would think,
Literally, you would be diving past a little flock of Plethosaurus.
I can't remember, but does Rocky fit in the bit?
He does. He fits perfectly in the bit. It is built as a second skin for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Unless anyone really doesn't want me to, I will command the ship to move closer to the elemental as my action. I will forego this thing that would probably kill me.
Okay.
And I will command the ship.
You move another 15 feet forward. That puts you at 70 feet away. Back up to Jareth.
Okay, so we. All right. Where is Hero at right now?
She's on the shore, interposing between the water elemental and all of the everybody else.
Okay. So, okay, and what's the distance? So the distance to
70 feet. Well,
70?
70 like 5.
It'd be 75. Okay, that's what I thought you. Okay. So we'll say I'll give her some room. So we'll say an additional square, so 10 feet behind her.
Okay.
Blade barrier.
Ooh, okay.
So a 100-foot wall, or sorry, a wall 25 feet high and 100 feet long of spinning blades appears behind you.
oh my.
All right. So spinning wall of blades and death appears behind you,
Badass.
Hero.
Also startling.
Ah,
And as that was my action, yes, I'll be done for this round.
okay, sounds good. Yara, you're up. You are 70 feet away from the shore.
We're not within weapons range quite, are we?
Of well, your
So
weapon
use
has
the dragon head, we need to be in 60 feet.
correct. You have the energy beams from the bit, which go a range of 120 to 480. You have the spire shot, which has a range of 200 to 800, and then you have the ram itself, which is you would have to maneuver the ship itself to up against the creature.
I was seeing use one of those.
Although, I should say, based on the check that was just made, the bits systems are actually not currently connected. It's docked, but the energy beams aren't functional because of that really terrible roll that Ronnie made on account of having the bagpipes chirp in their ears.
But the Spire Shot can still be
Oh,
fired.
100%. Yeah. Spire Shot is definitely still functional.
All right, so I will basically say ready to fire because that's within range already. It looks like,
Okay.
and for the next person to fire the Spire Shot.
And are you going to want to have? Are you going to use the take aim action or the fire action?
Take aim. So I want to give the next person a
Advantage.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to keep walloping this
Do
water
it.
elemental.
Yeah, go ahead and make your strength thing.
What is that? 24.
Its movement speed is cut in half again for this next round. It doesn't seem to be moving anywhere, but it's also not moving anywhere. So
8 points of damage as it gets Bigsby slapped.
again, you recall, as you learned last round, that given that this thing is so huge and it's made of water, it doesn't seem to be taking any damage from the bludgeoning.
Okay.
That's Yara on Ronnie.
So you did the make aim. That's for the Spire Shot?
Yeah,
No.
I would have delayed the order because that's the only weapon that we're within range with right now.
Okay. Do I just roll? And I roll it with advantage for that?
You roll with advantage. It's a +5.
Ooh. $23.
23 will hit.
Yeah.
5d10.
5d10. Hold on. Hold on. I have more.
Jay, did you see that Conjure Animals rule?
What do you mean?
I posted it on there. Apparently, you're supposed to roll their own initiative, and then they go in that order and whatnot. That seems clunky to me, though.
Yeah, no, I'll just have them act on your turn.
Okay. Do they lose that first turn, though?
They would roll their own initiative.
I'll be right back, guys. Evelyn's crying. I'm gonna see what's up.
Sorry.
What's your... So since I rolled higher on the initiative for these guys than you are, they wouldn't have gone after you that round. So we'll say that they go on your turn this round.
Okay. So, like, in the future, they summon them, they lose, they can't move that turn, but then they can take actions that next round.
Right. So basically what I'm saying is that since the rule is they would roll their own initiative, it's just a question of whether or not they would go after you that round or not. So since I rolled higher than your initiative that round, they wouldn't have gone after you. They were next round. So at that point, they're basically just acting on your turn.
Yeah. Okay.
31 points of damage.
Holy crap! 31 points of
I
damage.
rolled
in one
3
round.
8s.
Nice.
30, you said 31?
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. So one of the 10 long Pyrium lances fires out, and you hear the sound like a sword being pulled out of a sheath, but several octaves lower, as this enormous spire just shoots out and lances straight through the water elemental's body, and you can see immediately that there is it's losing coherency. It's starting to bleed water, so to speak, out of a huge gaping wound in its form, as it's now impaled, and the spire is stuck about a third of the way into the beach. It lands right in front of you, Hero. That was Ronnie, water elemental.
Look out. Bring that back with you.
So the water elemental now has a number of other options than just people. So on a 1, it's going to attack Hero. On a 2, it'll attack one of the commoners, one of the people. On a 3, it will look back and see the plesiosaurs. On a 4, it will attack the ship. On a 1, it attacks Hero.
That's what I'm here for.
It will use freezing strikes. It will use multi-attack to attack with 3 trident, frozen tridents, and on each successful hit, it will deal an additional D10 cold damage. So this is 20 something. I feel like that hits.
Yep.
15
Miss.
and 3.
Miss.
So you get 1 hit with D6 piercing, D8 piercing with 2 hands. Yeah, that would be okay. So D8 and then a D10 cold. And this is a total of this plus 4. So 13 points of damage total.
Okay.
Are you vulnerable to cold?
No.
Cool. So you take 13 points of damage as it flails at you, now like in between strikes, like pulling on this huge spire that's now gouging through its chest, and it's unable to pull it out of the sand, and it stabs you with its frozen trident and leaves you now stuck in the sand as well along with it, and you easily sort of push it out of the way and come back ready for the fight. That was the water elemental's turn. It will now attempt to move. Which direction is it going to move?
Am I in melee with it?
You are.
Because I will sentinel and try to stop it from moving.
Okay, so let's see if it can. 1 would be toward you. 8 would be. So it's going to move like. So if you and I are facing one another and I'm the elemental, it's going to move this way. So just past you. What's its speed? Speed of 40. So what does Sentinel do?
If I land opportunity attack, it cannot move. Its
Okay.
speed goes to 0. So
Let me think about this.
it gets stuck with me if I hit.
So you would need to succeed on an opportunity attack, which means it has to provoke it, which means it has to leave your threatened
Correct.
area. So
Yes.
think about this. So we've got 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. At about 30, I think, is when it would provoke.
And it'll just be an unarmed strike. Or I guess
Yeah.
technically all of my strikes have the magic anyway, so.
Yeah.
18
18 exactly hits.
Sweet. Well, that's.
So it was charging off after some civilians, but you stop it in place and you're like, "Hey, I am your opponent."
I rolled max damage, so 11 points of radiant.
Ooh, okay, so 11 radiant.
Actually, I'm sorry, it's bludgeoning, but it's magical.
Magical bludgeoning.
Yes.
Sounds great. Bludgeoning magical will do full damage. Yeah, great. 31 plus what?
I just dealt 11.
11, so 41, 42. Awesome. That was Hero.
Nope.
You gonna move? Nope, that was the water elemental.
Him, yeah.
Now it's Hero.
So he's still within melee with me.
Correct. Yeah, you stopped him.
I want to. He's still heading for the people. Like he's trying to get past.
Yep.
Is he about to run into the nice wall of blades then?
Yeah, he's pretty close. You stopped him.
Cool. I want to. How far are can I see the people beyond the blades? Have they still been running?
Yeah, they're still running away.
How close are they to the blades? Like
They're getting further every moment.
Right, okay, well.
The ones that were in sort of the middle are furthest. The ones that were out to the sides are maybe within, we're going to say 10, 15 feet.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because this thing is 20 feet tall.
Yeah.
I don't want to hit the people, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use as my action Searing Sunburst.
Okay.
Which is basically Fireball, but with radiant energy.
Nice.
And I'm going to... It's a 150 foot range where I can throw it, but I'm just going to throw it up at its head. I don't care if I'm in the range. It's fine.
Okay.
And I will actually spend 3 key points to increase the damage. So
Okay.
with the 3 key points, I need a DC 18 con check. Con save, I'm sorry.
Okay. DC 18 con save.
Yep.
DC 18 con save. It fails.
Cool. So with my 3 key point, it adds 2d6 per key point. So 8d6. Okay. Come on, D&D Beyond. Sorry. 6, 7, 8. All right. 32 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Do I
So-
also am I in the range of that? It's a 20-foot. It's a 20-foot sphere. So
Yeah.
I'm in that too.
No, because you're technically putting it at the center of the water elemental, and it is a 20 by 20 object.
Perfect. Well, then 32
So-
points of radiant damage.
What you see happening from the ship is Hero valiantly sort of like spinning in air and doing, martial arts and such. And at a specific moment where she thrusts her fist out directly toward this thing, you see a small mote of light bloom into existence in the center of this water elemental. And an explosion of steam happens entirely within this swirling mass of water, and you just see this huge bubble form and just boil itself outward from the center. And as this steam escapes, you can hear now almost as if the water elemental itself is roaring in pain as all of the superheated water now escapes it through what approximates its mouth. And it just bright beacon of light for a split second, and then the entire thing just collapses back on itself about half as big as it was before. And
bonus action, I will patient defense.
okay, great. You did how much damage?
I did 32 plus the 11 from the opportunity attack.
So 32 on top of 72. No, 42 is 74. Cool. All right. Man.
Can the ship take any more actions? I know it moved and you fired. So is it done, or can I shoot off the energy beams?
The energy beams are disconnected because Ronnie failed her maintenance check. However, you could issue the order to fire another spire shot.
Well, how about that then? I don't see where that is, but let's do that.
All right, so it's I believe you already used the take aim, so that would be a straight roll plus 5.
Shit. Why not? Oh, cool. 13? Still not.
Okay, 13. So Bran takes command of the spire shot weapon systems of the key, and he commands the ship to pivot and then aim and fire another spire shot, another loud unsheathing sound at several octaves below the norm, and the spire shot flies, and as the water elemental collapses in from the explosion that happened inside of it, of this radiant sphere of light, it barely misses as the spire shot flies over its head and then stabs straight into the wall of swirling swords. And you now hear Hero, better than anybody, hears this just cacophonous sound of metal slicing metal and just grinding against itself, as now this hole about 5 feet wide has been essentially punctured in this wall of spinning swords. The spire shot itself has taken quite a bit of damage as well. What's the damage on your swords?
10d10, or sorry, 6d10.
60-10. Go ahead and roll that and cut it in half.
Let's see. 14, 22, 24. 39. So that'd be
About 19.
Yeah, that'd be 19.
18. So you hero sort of front row seat for this show. You see the blades themselves start to grind themselves into pieces, crack, shatter, splinter, fly into pieces apart. You also see that these swords are now putting large, long gashes into the side of this Pyrium spire. Nowhere near enough to actually destroy the thing, but now it's just really obvious that this thing has been totally mangled. That brings it back down. Bran, anything else? You want your Plesiosaurus to do anything?
Move up, but I'm guessing they're more than 80 feet, so.
Yeah, they got a swim of 40, so they're now within another move action. I think will get them there, or two.
Okay, well, I figured double move and they'd get up there.
Correct. So they're on the beach.
Yeah.
That will be Bran's turn. Rocky. The ship is 70 feet away.
70 feet away. Okay. And there was something wrong with the ship now? Did I catch that?
No, one of the spire shot got mangled by Jareth's blade barrier.
Right, but I thought Ronnie made a roll that did something.
Oh, the keys weapons are currently disconnected, so you can't use. I'm sorry, not the weapon system. The bits weapon system. So you can't use the energy beam, but you can still. I guess if you wanted to make a check to see if you can get them reconnected, you could.
Okay. Next question. So for the power stones that we have access to, the magic spells, do we need the material components, or is that just included in the? Okay. I'm going to then do something I haven't done before, and I'm going to use Destruction Stone to cast Fireball.
Yes!
So that's within 150 feet, 20-foot radius, so I'll put it, I guess, behind, just behind it, so I don't hit Hero.
Okay.
Let's see, a dex save.
Okay.
Of what? I can't remember what that is, though.
It's going to be using your highest mental stat plus 10 plus your proficiency bonus.
I wrote that down. So that is 16. So it has to do 16.
Okay. With its newly shrunken form, it apparently has the ability to dodge a little better than it used to. It does actually succeed on its dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
So it's taking, I'm assuming, half damage.
Right. So 8d6. So 2, 8, 13, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 25, 31. So half of 31 would be 15.
Yeah, so it takes 15 damage. 74 plus 15 is 89?
Sure.
All right, so the fireball explodes where the water elemental used to be, and it still sees one half of water elemental's body. Instead of actually is its body. It's equivalent to the edge as just a shrunken it's I've used the destruction to fire a fireball out of the tip of the key.
Okay.
And then it explodes. It's amazing. I'm looking at like damage resistances. It has resistance to acid, and then piercing and slashing from non-magical attacks, and it's immune to poison. It's also immune to paralyzed, petrified, poisoned, or prone, but there's nothing about fire. I feel like I take double damage from fire because it's water. So I am going to make a DM ruling that it does normal damage because it would be vulnerable. So I'll add another 16 damage. That puts it at so 90, 100 damage. No, 105. So it's at 105 because I have decided it takes that much damage because it's made of water. All right. So that's Rocky's turn. You gonna do anything else?
No, that's all I can do.
All right, back up to Jareth.
Come on. There we go. Let's move the ship closer.
All right, so you use your action to command the ship. Move! And it goes another 15 feet. That puts it at 65? Nope.
60.
55. 55.
Okay.
So it's now 55 feet away from the shore, which means that the elemental is still maybe 65, 70, because it has moved away from the shore.
Okay, I think that's all I can do this round. So,
Okay. No bonus action?
I will actually. I will start going into a blinding solo on the mandolin to inspire Yara.
All right.
So Yara, you have a D12 inspiration.
Oh,
Ooh, nice. All right, that's Yar's turn. Coming up next, what would you like to do?
well, I would fire with that inspiration, but I'm not close enough. Shoot. I mean, I
I
guess
will say at this point, probably I'm going to say narratively that the water elemental has shrunk in size enough. You could probably affect it with that hand now. It just got hit with the equivalent of 2 fireballs. It should be small. Not small, but like at least smaller than,
my hand took all that damage too, though.
Oh, I guess that's true.
Hold on. How you said the elemental move enter and exit my range?
Yeah.
So it would have moved out of the hand's range anyway, and the fireballs were only 20 feet radius, so it shouldn't have hit the hand.
But I'm like grasped onto it though. I don't think it's ever shook that hand loose.
Well, again, as I was telling you, because it's a huge creature and it's made of water, you've never actually successfully grabbed it.
Oh, okay.
You have slowed it down in terms of its movement. So, but you can definitely move the hand back into range. I guess you wouldn't have taken the damage at that point.
Is it still a huge creature?
No, well, it was bigger than huge before. Now it is, I'm going to say at least huge, if not large. Somewhere in that neighborhood. So it's between like 10 and 15 feet wide now.
I'm just gonna punch it.
Cool.
But as a bonus action, because I can do that as a bonus action with concentration, so I still can do something, and I would like to fire, but I don't think I'm close enough to do any of that. Well, I guess I could fire another spire shot at it.
Can you command it to move as part of the?
Oh, I can command it to. Or you mean the hand or the ship?
The hand.
Good question. Let us take a look.
I think you can move.
It moves at your command. It moves at your command, mimicking the movements of your own hand.
When you cast the spell and as a bonus action on your subsequent, you can move the hand up to 60 feet.
As a bonus action, you can move.
So it says, as a bonus action, you do that, and then you cause one of the following effects with it. So you can move the hand and then clenched fist to punch it.
Okay, yeah, so that was because I'm pretty sure I can just do all this on a bonus, but I missed the movement part as part of the bonus.
Correct, yeah. So your bonus moves it and then punches it, and then you can use your action to fire a spire shot.
Yeah, so I guess for my main action, probably just fire another spire shot so I can take advantage of that inspiration.
Do it.
Nat 20, sir.
Ooh, nice.
With you want me to roll inspiration? I declared it anyway, so I can see with the inspiration. But
you can roll inspiration.
You can use it on damage.
Oh, it can be used on damage.
I think so because it's a bard ability or
Knowledge of swords.
Like, yeah, College of Valor, I believe.
Well, that just got way more amazing.
Yes. Okay, now, hang on. I would like to introduce you all to a new set of cards that I have purchased recently. So this is our new crit deck. This is a Spire Shot, so I'll treat that as a ranged weapon.
It's about to get messed
up. It says, nailed in place.
That's funny.
The attack basically causes it to drop its movement to 0, and it has to succeed on an athletics check to pull it free. And then, of course, you deal the double damage as always.
So inspiration can add the damage too?
Yes.
Double check in 1 sec.
If it can, it qualifies as a die, which means you can double that.
This is going to be sick. Yep.
Do you have the PHP over there?
Yeah.
Might be faster for me to just look it up in there.
26. So 34, that's not doubled. That's just my roll.
So roll those dice again and add that total.
Okay. 34 plus... Yowzas. Plus 34.
Oh,
They rolled
really?
34 exactly again.
That's incredible.
Yes. Yep. You may use Bardic Inspiration die, or can roll a die and add the number rolled to a weapon damage roll you just made.
Yep. I can confirm that.
So just roll that twice then?
Total of 68 damage.
Plus the d12s.
Is that right?
Does the inspiration double as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's a die. It's a weapon damage.
68 plus an additional 12.
So a total of
80
points of damage with Spire Shot. I don't think this.
Yeah, so just and then line up the Spire Shot. It just evaporates from the sheer, like it just blows a hole and then just cyclones into nothingness at that point.
Nice. Okay, so we'll say that like Yara at the last moment figures out how to get this spire to actually grind against the surface of the ship to like acquire a heated sort of state with friction, and the Spire Shot launches straight and true. The water elemental, seeing this attack coming, turns, launches itself at the spire, and as it does so, it lengthens so much that the heat of the spire and the damage that it's causing by striking this thing straight on causes it to just peel away in all directions and everything as it once again strikes the beach. Now you have 3 Spire Shots chilling out, stuck into the beach, and everything just sort of falls into a tense quiet as the Plethosaurs arrive, ready to do their... They start barking at each other and looking around at what to do next. And all of the blade barrier continues, but I'm sure Jareth will drop that at some point. And the people all sort of very cautiously and quietly sort of come back timidly at first, but once they see there's no more danger, they'll return to their camp and rejoice in the fact that these brave heroes have saved them.
That's what they think. Gun them down.
And with that, we'll go ahead and end our session for today. Well done.
Oops.
There's loot on those peasants, I say.
Only 2 people. 2 out of 10 died. Excellent. Well done.
Yeah, I thought we were going to be doing good just to save half of them, but we kind of just blew that thing to bits.
I mean, between 3 Spire Shots, the blade barrier, and Hero's Sentinel, and then a